They called him the Shoe Dog, a man who built an empire by outrunning everyone, even himself. Phil Knight wasn't born to lead revolutions. He was an accountant, cautious, shy, allergic to small talk. But somewhere between his ledgers and his track shoes, he found a single, obsessive idea. If you can't find your purpose, run until you do. This is the story of how a bookish runner and a mad inventor turned rubber and sweat into religion, and how their dream of greatness almost crushed them both. It started on a track in Oregon in the 1950s. Knight wasn't fast enough to win, but he ran like someone being chased. His coach, Bill Bowerman, was obsessed with shaving seconds off time. He tinkered with shoes like a mad scientist. He'd cut, glue, burn, rebuild, searching for perfection. One day, he poured rubber into his wife's waffle iron and created a new kind of sole. Better grip, better traction, better speed. Knight absorbed that madness like oxygen. After college, he wrote a paper. Can Japanese sports shoes do to Germany what Japanese cameras did to Germany? It wasn't just an essay, it was a prophecy. And when it wouldn't leave his mind, he chased it, all the way across the world. Phil Knight boards a plane to Japan. No company, no name, no plan, just a dream and a handshake's worth of confidence. He convinces a small firm called Onitsuka to let him import their running shoes to America under the name Blue Ribbon Sports. He pretends to have a real company. He doesn't. He tells Bowerman he has a business partner. He doesn't, until Bowerman says yes. They sell shoes out of the trunk of Knight's car at track meets. Knight keeps his day job as an accountant, balancing risk like numbers on a ledger. But Blue Ribbon grows, and with it, the tension. Onitsuka wants control. Knight wants freedom. When the partnership collapses, Knight bets everything on a new name. Nike, the Greek goddess of victory. The swoosh? Designed by a student named Carolyn Davidson for $35. Knight didn't love it, but it symbolized motion, and motion was all he knew. The 1970s, Nike explodes. Bowerman's waffle sole becomes legend. Nike builds shoes for real runners, not posers. And Knight builds a brand on emotion, on movement, on belief. Nike ads don't sell shoes. They sell the feeling of doing something impossible. Just do it hasn't been written yet, but it's already in the air. Knight pours everything into growth. Factories, logistics, sponsorships. The company goes public in 1980, making him a millionaire overnight. But he doesn't celebrate. He's restless. Adidas rules Europe. Reebok is coming for America. And Nike's empire, stretched across continents, is beginning to wobble under its own speed. Factories now hum in South Korea, Taiwan, Indonesia. Labor is cheap. Deadlines are faster. The swoosh flies high. And the farther it flies, the less Knight sees what's happening underneath. Then comes 1991. An activist named Jeff Ballinger publishes a report on working conditions inside Nike's Indonesian factories. It shows workers earning 14 cents an hour, working 12-hour days in unsafe buildings. The world barely notices, at first, until Life magazine, 1996. A photograph, a 12-year-old Pakistani boy, hand-stitching Nike soccer balls. That single image cracks the myth open. Nike, the symbol of freedom and youth, becomes the face of exploitation. Protests erupt on college campuses. Shareholder meetings turn hostile. "Just don't do it" signs flood the streets. For the first time, Phil Knight can't outrun the story. His first instinct? Denial. "We don't own the factories," he says. "We can't control everything." But denial doesn't scale. The outrage keeps growing. The empire he built on aspiration now looks like hypocrisy. The brand that told people to dream was built on nightmares. Under siege, Knight changes course. Nike introduces a code of conduct for suppliers, audits factories, joins the Fair Labor Association. They raise age limits, cut hours, improve wages, open factory lists to the public. It isn't perfect, but it's a reckoning. And somewhere in that reckoning, Knight himself begins to change. Phil Knight never looked like a CEO. He hated speeches. He mumbled through interviews. But he had a gift. the ability to turn obsession into movement. He once said, "The art of competition is the art of forgetting." Forget doubt, forget failure, forget that your heroes are human. He built Nike not on design, but on mythology. Air Jordan wasn't just a shoe, it was transcendence. But behind the myth, Knight was haunted. He'd built a global empire on victory, yet no longer knew what victory meant. Then tragedy struck. His son Matthew died in a diving accident. Knight slowed down, finally, unwillingly. He stepped away as CEO in 2004. His fortune was vast, his legacy secure. But one question lingered, like a runner's breath in the cold. Was it worth it? Phil Knight's story isn't a clean victory lap. It's a marathon. Blisters, doubts, second wins. He turned a college essay into an $18 billion empire. But he also revealed the paradox of modern ambition. You can build inspiration and harm at the same time. Nike taught the world to dream big, to move, to push past fear. But it also taught Knight that no race is ever truly won. In the end, the swoosh isn't just a symbol of victory. It's a reminder of velocity and of the cost of speed. And as one generation of founders passes the baton to the next, a new question waits at the finish line. Can the next giants, the Musks, the Bezoses, the Knights of tomorrow, build without burning out the world beneath their feet? Because every founder learns the same truth. You can't outrun the weight of your own creation forever. And next, we'll meet another builder who learned that lesson the hard way. A man who promised connection, but found himself trapped inside his own machine. Mark Zuckerberg, the boy who built Facebook and discovered what happens when your invention outgrows your control. Now I want to hear from you. Which founder, company, or rise and fall story should we cover next? Drop your ideas in the comments, and it might just become the next episode of The Founder Files.